Now it's time to create our first table, and we're also going to see how we can populate our table with data. But first I'm going to open the SQL database, I'm going to open the command line, and I'm going to type SQL3, I'm going to press enter. Now to create our table, we type in uppercase letters, create table, and by convention, now we need to specify the name of the table, but by convention the name of the table is typed in lowercase letters. So I'm going to type here books, this is going to be the name of the table, and you put left parenthesis, right parenthesis, and we put a semicolon at the end. Now inside the parentheses we need to specify the rows which are going to represent each individual book, and first is going to be the author name, so I'm going to type author, so this is going to be the first field, and it's going to store text, so in uppercase letters we type text, then we put a comma, next we type title, and this is going to store also text because this is going to store the title of the book. Now everything will work fine if I go at the end here and I press enter, but now we're missing something which is extremely important, and that is that each row should have a unique ID, so that later when you want to update, let's say that a specific row in our table, or to delete a specific row in our table, you can use that ID to identify that specific row, and you can delete it or do whatever you want. And for that you go at the start here, not here, inside the parenthesis, you type ID, and we type here integer in uppercase letters, primary key. So what we're saying now to the SQL database that it should treat this ID as the unique identifier for each row. This is what we're saying by typing here integer primary key in uppercase letters. Now I go at the end here, and if I press enter, and if you see no suggestion and it just goes to the next line, that means that everything worked fine. So now you have our table, but now our table is empty, so we need to insert some data in our table. And to do that, we need to use another statement, and we need to type here insert, to insert some information into the name of the table on which you want to insert data, books. And now we need to specify the fields for which you want to provide the data. So I'm going to type ID in parentheses, author, and the title. So for those are the three fields for which I want to provide data. And we close it with the right parenthesis, and then we type in uppercase letter values. So now I'm gonna pass the actual values for the fields that you have on the left. So first is gonna be the ID, I'm gonna type 1, and the name is going to be Fyodor, and I'm gonna type Dostoevsky, and as you can see this now the name is in quotation marks, and this is because we said here that this is going to be a text. And next we are going to specify the title of the book, and the title of the book is going to be The Idiot. So The Idiot. I'm going to close it here with a quotation marks, a double quotation marks, parenthesis, and then you put a semicolon here. Now if I press enter, you don't see no errors, and that means that we have our data inserted into the table. Now I'm going to insert another data, so I'm going to type insert into books, left parenthesis. Now I'm not gonna provide any value for the ID because I want to show you something. So I'm gonna type here only author, title, and now for the values I'm gonna type values in uppercase letters, and here I'm gonna type first for the author name, and the author name is gonna be Lev Tolstoy, and the name of the book is gonna be in quotation marks, we put a comma there, Anna, in double quotation marks we type Anna Karenina. So this is our second book that we insert inside our books table. So I'm gonna put here at the end a semicolon, and I'm going to press enter. And because you don't see no suggestion, that means that everything works fine. Now how you can see this data, how you can get this data back to see it that you have the data it was actually inserted in our table. To do that, we need to use a select from statement. So we type here at the end select, and I'm gonna talk more about this in the next video, but just type here select from, but we put an asterisk sign, and we put from in uppercase letters, and the name of the table from which you want to select the data. For select from books, and put a semicolon, and if you press enter now, it's gonna return all the rows with the corresponding values to us. So I'm gonna press enter, and as you can see, it returned 1 and 2, and this is interesting. Even though we didn't pass here 2, this 2 was added automatically by the SQLite database, because we said here that this is going to be an integer primary key. Even though here we didn't specify the ID, it knew because we said that it's going to be an integer primary key, it knew that it has to increment that value, and it has to add that value by default for us. So he put it added here too. Then we have Lev Tolstoy, Anna Karenina. So we have our two authors, and with their two corresponding books. So this is how we can create a table. This is how we can insert data in a table, and this is how we can also select that data from a table. We can use a select from statement. And see you in the next video.